home studio engineers. As always, thank you so much for checking out the Home Recording Network. And today I want to show you guys a technique that I use in about 90% of my mixes that's gonna help you achieve clearer vocals that are still ambient and spacey. I often see home studio engineers fall into that trap of just adding too much reverb to their vocal tracks. And while reverb sounds awesome, adding too much of it can just have a negative impact on your mixes. Often this adds up to a muddy or unclear mix, and this is especially noticeable when too much reverb is added to vocals. So if we want ambient or pretty sounding vocals, but I'm telling you not to overuse reverb, what are we supposed to do? Well, I'm gonna get into that, but first, if this video helps you out at all, please remember to give me a like and subscribe to help me reach more people out there like you that are searching for help. All right, guys, so first of all, I just wanna say this is a video on, vocals, right? If you're looking for tips on overall mix clarity and things like that, I do have a video titled Better Home Studio Mixes in Minutes, and I'll leave a link for that. It's a video I did a while back, but it's helped a lot of people out, and there's a lot of great information in there about, cleaning up an overall muddy mix. All right, guys, so this is a song that's about half finished. We don't have all the tracks for this yet. But the lead vocal track is in there, so that's all we really need to show you this tip. So here's a little bit of the verse.
The unsolved crimes of lovers lost out in the pines. They'll never find the skeletons of broken lives. You were the one who said it wasn't over yet. You were the one who said I'm easy to forget.
So if we listen to this vocal part, you're going to hear that there's some reverb on it, but it's not my only tool for ambience.
Lovers lost out in the pines, they'll never find the skeletons of broken lives.
Yeah, there's some reverb on it, but we're not overloading this vocal track with reverb. So let's go over the other tool that I am using. And then after that, I'm going to reiterate some tips that I've told you guys in the past that specifically relates to reverb. Let's bring up our mixer here so we can focus on the track and the effects end. So for this verse vocal track here, we have 3 effects ends. The first one is my Vox thick effects end, which is a super great tip. I just made 2 videos on this and I've been getting a lot of great feedback on this. If you want your vocals to cut through the mix, this is such a great and amazing tip and an easy way to get those vocals to cut. So check those videos out if you're interested in that. The next effect send is what we're going to be going over today. And then the last one is the reverb itself. But we know if we add too much reverb, it's going to make our vocal mix sound amateur. Think about any songs on the radio you hear, any songs by, some of your favorite artists. You don't hear an overabundant amount of reverb on the vocal tracks. It's very tucked into the mix. It's there, but it's not over the top. So we don't want to fall into that trap of trying to make our vocals sound great by using a ton of reverb. That's going to hurt the mix. So if we bypass this reverb send here and I play the track, you're going to notice that there's still some ambience in the background and it almost sounds like reverb.
Lovers lost out in the pines, they'll never find the skeletons of broken lives.
Yeah, and if I kind of mute that or bypass the send, it's going to sound even more dry.
Lovers lost out in the pines, they'll never find.
Now if I engage.
Lovers lost out in the pines, they'll never find.
So if we look at this send down here, this stereo Vox send, this is just some stereo delay, but it's set up a specific way and it almost sounds like reverb. but it doesn't get as muddy or unclear as reverb. So adding this in with our actual reverb adds up for an ambient vocal sound that isn't too muddy or washed out. On this track is just a stereo delay plugin, and I'm just going to bypass it so we can start from scratch and you guys can see, really how to do this step by step. So this can be done with any stereo delay plugin. So what I'm going to do is just pull up the Logic stereo delay, and we are going to adjust some settings here. The first thing we want to do here is turn off the tempo sync, because I want to be making these adjustments in milliseconds and not by quarter note, whole note, and so on and so forth. So here on a stereo delay plugin, if you've never used one, it's basically just a delay for both the left and the right channel. And you can set these independent from each other. So with the right side, we're going to keep this at 180 milliseconds. And the left side, we're going to make this something close to that, but a little bit different. So let's set it right around 216. So these sides are going to be delayed, slightly differently. For the feedback or the actual delay tail, I'm just going to put these down to 0 because we don't want this delaying on and on. We just want it to repeat once. For the output here, both the left and right are set to 100%. So we are not getting any of the dry signal coming out of this plugin. So it's going to be all the affected and delayed signal. Now, if we just solo this effects send, you're going to hear how low it is in the mix. Now I'll turn it up a bit for you guys. They'll never find the skeletons of broken lives. Now we've basically just split our mono vocal track into a left and a right channel and delayed each of them just a tiny bit. But this mixed in with our vocal has an awesome effect and it sounds great. Lovers lost out in the pines, they'll never find the skeletons of broken lives. So this allows us to get some ambience out of our vocal track without muddying up the vocals too much. And now we can add a little bit less reverb because we already have, some ambience to the track. So when we add the reverb in, this is what the vocal sounds like. Lovers lost out in the pines, they'll never find the skeletons of broken lives. So instead of piling on a ton of reverb, making our mix less clear, we've gotten vocal ambience by, mixing two tools together and using a little amount of each of those tools. Now, in terms of the reverb itself, I have 2 tips for you, and you've probably heard me talk about this before. But one thing is rolling off the high end of your reverbs. I usually will roll mine off to about 8K, so we don't have all the high end cluttering up our mix. Now, if you don't have a reverb that has an EQ in it, you can simply put an EQ in after. So let's just go to Fab Filter, can use whatever you want. But you would basically just do a high cut. And let me bring this up. And you would roll this off to, 8K. Could even go lower or try up higher. But rolling off the top end is a great way to get some more clarity in your mix. So give that a shot. And the other tip I have for you when it comes to reverb is don't set too long of a decay time. So we don't want a long reverb tail unless that's what you're going for. But in most cases, my tail or the decay time is somewhere around 2 seconds. Maybe 4 seconds if I'm going really big. But having a super long decay is going to muddy up your mix and give you more of those issues that you're probably having if you're watching this video. And just to be clear, going back to rolling off the high end of your reverbs, you want that EQ plugin to come right after your reverb plugin. I put that in the wrong spot when I was showing you before. So yeah, EQing reverb is something fun that you can try out too. A lot of times I'll go in and actually like boost on the low end of the reverb. Sometimes that can sound pretty cool. But yeah, just put that EQ plugin right after a reverb and have some fun with it. Roll off the top end. I have some videos showing that, showing how it actually makes the reverb sound further away, which can be pretty cool. And just to show you guys that I use this in like all of my mixes, here is a mix I used for my last video. And we have that same effect on the vocal track. So here's the verse.
Building castles in the sky. I'll break your fall when you fly.
Yeah, and the reverb is much more prominent in this song. But if we go to the verse vocal track and bypass the reverb send, you can hear that effect in the background.
When you fly, wrap me up in clouds with you, and I'll be fine.
Yeah, so like I said, guys, this is a trick I use in most of my mixes to get more clarity out of the vocals by just using less reverb. And that's really something that you guys have to learn how to do. Don't hide behind reverb because it's never going to, cover up a bad mix or anything like that. So that's all I have for today. Hope you learned something. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy mixing, guys. Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to download your free Ultimate Home Studio Mix Guide with your go-to EQ and compression settings for all your tracks. And also be sure to register for my free online mix training that I hold a couple times a week so that you can learn how to make radio quality music from your home without breaking the bank.